What's up, everyone?
Oh, look who it is, the man of the hour.
Yeah, I was exhausted, so I had to eat some fish.
Very cute. Love it. All right, Dee, are you ready to get into some topics about some of the things that we're working on behind the scenes and some of the stuff that's coming up for Arcadian Reclaim? Do you want to kind of just start there at least?
Yeah. So there's probably going to be a few massive patches coming next week. Most importantly, I know that everyone can't wait for this. It's this beautiful thing that Sakul has finally finished. Well, basically finished more or less. Well, building soon as well. But I know people with a lot of creatures can't wait for like multi-select, so that's in the works. And also, for all of the people that are exhausted by just claiming all of the creatures, there's the claim all button.
I'm
So
super
Sakul was
excited for
basically,
that.
oh yeah, Sakul was working on this a long time, and he's like adding new stuff to the UI. He asks me, "Do we need more stuff?" And I just keep on piling on, just asking for more and more stuff in the UI to the point where stuff can't really even fit anymore. Um,
Those of
Let
us
me
with a lot
explain
of
it.
assets, with a lot of otters, with a lot of seals, the claim all feature is very, very exciting. And I really,
Yeah.
really want it to be on mainnet.
I'm gonna share a few screenshots here of the UI for the multi-select and stuff. It's really nice. It's really comfortable. It's very very convenient. It just
Very
makes it all very
convenient.
more. It's just way more intuitive and way more friendly user wise. So yeah, this is also Coolsburg basically. So if you wanna like give some appreciation to Sakul, you can just tag him and type in feet or whatever. I think he would love that.
Or give him a virtual hug. He loves hugs. He tells us
Yes.
all the time how much he really, really loves hugs, especially from the community. So tag him and give him a virtual hug
Yes.
and feet. Pedro, why do you have that emo? Oh my god, it's literally
Look at what it's
called
called.
Cool Dream. Wow. Wow.
We have very different team members, and we appreciate all of them, however different they are.
Of course, however different they are. That's super exciting. Multi select, claim all. Oh, I'm too
Finally,
excited
right?
for this.
It's like it's a QOL feature, but it's really needed, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Claim
Claim
all,
all
but a
but
danger
transfer
wallet.
wallet.
Tiffany, why are you why are you spoiling everything?
Shh, Tiffany, don't spoil the surprise. The secret.
And Tiffany is also working on the supporter passes, which should also be coming next week. So we'll be having both of these things coming next week. Grant is also working on the animation, so we might have otters ready for next week, hopefully. So otters might be animated on next week. But the pass and the QOL changes are going to be live next week, 100%, as it's more or less done already.
All right, so passes.
Yeah.
We have some new, very exciting features being added. What else is coming down the pipeline? Is there anything for supporter passes that we should discuss? Anything that the community should know that we haven't already talked about?
I think we've talked about everything. It's unless people have actual questions about the. So if anyone has like any questions regarding the quality of life changes and the support passes, I would be very happy to answer anything right now. Um, Specifically for those things before I continue on to next topics.
And just a reminder, guys, we are having a giveaway for someone who asks a really good question in the audience. I will be choosing someone, so think of something really interesting. Something that's gonna stump D, please.
Yeah, please don't.
Season will be annual. How long does it last? What is game looping about? I'll let D take that.
Season pass will be annual, so it's gonna basically start from most likely the first of next month, and it's gonna take the whole year for you to be able to use your allowance of $200 within the pass, and also the monthly airdrop of the PDWL. What is the game looping about? I'm not sure. Like, maybe you mean what are the game loops about? Um, for the overworld, it's just resource gathering and improving your world state. But after that, it's you using the resource from the overworld to actually do other modes like PvE and so on. Um, are the support passes seasonal? No, they will be as as I cannot pronounce this name. Check ready? I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be annual. It's not seasonal. Though we might have seasonal passes as well, but they would be completely different altogether. Is supporter pass still $160 in Matic? Yes. Yes. Obviously the Matic prices and everything in crypto has been like hard crushing recently. So yeah, we will just adjust the amount of Matic required. Will there be another collection soon besides the pass? Yes, we're working on new creatures. And we're like halfway done, I would say.
And I believe we mentioned what the creatures were the last AMA.
I don't think people really properly prep the mention. Let me see.
Not a penguin, but similar.
Something
Similar
something
creature.
something way more stupid.
Not so penguins are flightless
Should I should
birds.
I should I share a picture of the creatures that are gonna be the next ones?
Yeah, let's give the people what they want, a sneak peek.
So this is the base is the most common thing. This is only with the hat on. As I've said, the collection is like halfway done. It's not like prepared and not all of the art is done yet, but it's going to be seagulls. Our next creature are seagulls.
Seagulls. So funny.
Also, yeah,
We had a question
they're
about creatures being like a creature mint being unlimited. Is that something that we will do in the future or thinking about doing in the future?
we're thinking about. So the mints for creatures will be limited for the upcoming time, but we have some ideas about maybe making a way for new users to try the game and join more simply without investing a lot of money. So yeah, we're trying to figure out a way to where new people can join by paying very little or almost nothing. So that, I guess, in a way, would be an unlimited mint technically, but those creatures would not be on the chain. Um, yeah.
Wow, that is a lot of questions from RB. I'll let you parse through that, D.
See, I'm scrolling back.
We also have some questions from Miles.
Yeah, let me say. Drum asked, did Lily really migrate to AR? Lily wasn't our creation. Like the default frog from SFL, yeah, that wasn't ours. That was like the default frog in SFL. Um, we also still have the SFL cross event thing, whatever you want to call it, in the works, but it might get pushed back simply because we're trying to polish up our own thing first before we launch that. Miles says, I just want to ask how the project started. What is the origin behind choosing frogs, seals, and otters as the animals for this game? It got me curious while I look at them. It's good for the community to know the lore origin of what we own. Uh, as far as like why these creatures, we just kind of follow the ocean theme. It wasn't really anything specific about them. We just followed the ocean theme at the start. Especially because we wanted to show the creatures in the player farms in SFL, and we couldn't really do that on like the mainland, as there's like space involved and so on. So we had to be, aquatic animals basically. But now that we have our own game, it's not only aquatics anymore. It's in fact just more focused on having creatures from every biome. And as far as why the project started, honestly, we just thought that we weren't really fans of the project that we saw and the directions the directions that they took. So we just kind of thought that why not try ourselves? We have people that can make code. We know people that can do art. Why not just get together and try our own thing? If you're unhappy about something, just take it into your own hands, basically. Are you planning to release a frog again? Maybe someday. I mean, if people are interested in more frogs, then maybe. It's all depending on what the people want. There are some plans to attract new players. Yes, as I've said, we want to add a way for people to like try the game out for almost free or basically free. Yeah, we're not sure about the details yet, but basically the idea is that a new player can come in, maybe pay $1 or $2, maybe it's free. I'm not sure yet, and they would get like creatures that are basically carbon copies of one another. They're like wisps or whatever, and they can do tasks. They can basically do everything that the other creatures can, but the resources have to be soul bound, meaning they cannot trade these. At least not at the start. Maybe they need to upgrade their account or something like that. But it's all very much just ideas for now.
So RB had asked, how do you envision leveraging sponsorships and partnerships within Project Dignity to enhance a gaming experience and promote ethical and transparent values? So, for those of you who spend a lot of time in the NFT space, there's obviously a lot of projects that aren't really built on integrity. There's tons of rugs and scams just prevalent with throughout the industry as a whole. And part of the reason I think the team got together is they wanted to make the project of their own and also make something with integrity. And that can be hard when you're trying to find good partnerships or good promotions with people that stand for the same things as the project. This is not to say that they don't exist or they aren't out there, but Arcadian Reclaim and Project Dignity are small projects, and we have a certain pool of other partnerships we can make with both influencers and other NFT projects. And as a small company, it can be hard for us to build those relationships with larger companies. And there's so many small projects out there. Like I think I've spent so much time looking at other Polygon projects, going into their communities, seeing what they're working on. I can't tell you how many of those projects ended up rugging as I was doing my research. There's just so much of it within the space. But when it comes to partnerships, I think that partnering with community members or influencers within the community that, you know, obviously care, they're passionate about the project, they're interested in the project, they have knowledge of it, they've been with us. I think that we did do a short partnership with one of the Brazilian influencers. He helped us making a video and presented it to his community. And this is someone that's been around SFL for a while and created a really great video when we released the big resource update. So I mean, there's a lot of facets to partnering with other projects and influencers, and it takes a lot of time seeing what they're about, seeing if they're existing in this realm with integrity and on the same level as us. And it's just a process for us to partner with people and also it being a valuable relationship for both us and them. I hope that answers your question. The too long didn't read is it can be very difficult in this space, but we're trying, and we do invest time in making sure that the people that we're partnering with do exist with integrity. And that was a very long-winded answer. RB had another question. D, I don't know if you wanted to take this one. How will the token burning process be integrated into gameplay? And what benefits do you anticipate it will bring to the ecosystem?
Oh, the PDWL token. Nice. Well, the plan is for it to be a privilege token, as I've always said, which will most likely mean that. So, I might actually just talk about the lighthouse mechanics that we want to add. So, we're working on our first building right now as we speak. We're making art for it, and it's going to be a lighthouse. And basically, once you have a lighthouse built, you'll be able to spend some PDWL tokens to basically, like once or twice a day. I think what we have now with the docks is like the baseline level 1 lighthouse will allow you to remove the existing exhaustion for your creatures 3 times, I think, by using PDWL tokens. So we haven't decided on the how much PDWL is going to take. But basically, if you have PDWL, you will be able to pay a small portion of it and then select 3 creatures that are exhausted right now that are resting. And you can basically skip that period and have them be recovered right away. And that would likely be capped. So obviously you can't just do that with all of your creatures at all times. Yeah, it's probably going to be like 3 creatures per day if you have the lighthouse built. You will also need to build the actual lighthouse though. So yeah, the token is going to be used to just basically give you some more privileges, allowing you to do actions somewhat faster, but not in a way that other people cannot compete with you. There was another question that he posted.
Yeah, there was one more. Regarding the income generated from the Mint Pass, could you provide insights into whether these funds will be directed towards liquidity provisioning or directly added to liquidity pool? How do you see this choice impacting the overall sustainability and growth of the project?
As far as the actual Mint Pass goes, so the Mint Pass is going to salaries for the people that are actually building the game. Because for many people, this is like basically a full-time job already. So the Mint is literally just wages for people and them, and as having the ability to keep building the game as a full-time job. As far as like a Mint being used for like liquidity, that's going to be the tadpole Mint, which is going to allow us to add a lot of PDWL into the pool, which we will still need to combine that with actual dollars. So we will still need to use some of the money that we make to make the pool bigger. But as far as the Mint Pass itself, it's for wages. It's basically, if the passes go well, if the Seagull Mint goes well, it's basically for us to secure a big enough leeway to where we can comfortably build the game for the foreseeable future.
So mint funds going to the team, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. So that was that was quite a lot from RB. So we'll just scroll down. Can we get a discount on the pass with PD whitelist tokens? Should we cover that?
And no, you're already getting a big discount with the pass itself because the allowance is bigger than the pass itself. Yeah, I've seen. Instead of more frogs, how about toads? Funny story with the frogs. We have an identical collection to the existing frogs, but them being bigger, with bigger dimensions, and them being more detailed. Right, Tiffany? We literally have a collection right there of bigger frogs. Yeah, but it got rejected by SFO. So we have the art for it. In a way, we could launch like another frog collection that's like Gen 2 pretty easily and pretty quickly if we wanted to, and if people wanted that. So that's basically more or less toads. Seagulls fish or get new resources. So the seagulls concept isn't done yet, but seagulls will not eat fish. That's the first thing out there. Seagulls will not eat fish. They will fish, they will gather fish, but seagulls will not eat fish.
Yes, they will have a very
resource.
interesting mechanic.
Yes. The seagulls are very stupid, so they have a different diet. They are uniquely different and stupid. Are the seagulls vegan? You could say that. you could say that. Seagulls will eat another resource that's already being gathered in the game right now. So this will introduce like a new mechanic that's, that's gonna really differentiate how you spend your resources right now. Because right now you only burn fish while there's no buildings yet. With seagulls, it's gonna be a little bit different. What else?
Valent had asked, "Are we looking for VC funding?" Very interesting question.
Well, if the VC was a person that has like honor and has the same goals and vision as I do, sure. That's usually not the type of person that VCs are. I'm not saying I would be against funding, but it literally would have to. It's like trying to meet a person that doesn't exist, basically, as far as values are concerned. But yeah, if there was like a person that with the same values that wants to invest in the company, yeah, sure. But we all know how VCs are,
Right.
and it's nice. It's nice to be independent and not having to like abide to anyone, and you don't want pressure to like milk your player base for extra money.
Right, because you're beholden to your investors when you take money from people.
Yeah.
So Ida had asked how many passes we can get unlimited. Get as many passes as your heart's desire.
If you want to mint 100 passes, my team will thank you personally. I will have Sakul record a video live IRL and send it to you if you mint 100 passes.
Wow, that's
will do it.
Is that a binding contract?
Yeah. And actually, he might do one in a maid dress as well.
Wow. Okay.
So if anyone wants to personally mint 100 passes, I will make Sakul wear a maid dress and make an IRL video for you. A shout out. I will make it happen.
Okay, moving on. Drum asks, right now AR looks pretty clean. But since we'll be gathering plastic eventually, do you plan some apocalyptic event in AR that's going to cause pollution or any lore around that?
Yeah, we wanna slowly introduce humans into the game, and that will probably change the art around on the overworld and stuff. And yeah, using the plastic and so on. We have some ideas, but um, it's gonna take some time because we have to polish up the existing stuff. But yeah, it's definitely something that we want to add, like adding humans as like the baddies basically is gonna be a thing. And yeah, we want to do like events where like the overworld just changes a little bit. There's stuff happening.
And that goes into what Miles had asked as well about there being store or lore. So yes, we are, or that's something we have thought about, and we have some concepts already when it comes to lore, the lore of the game, and how that would evolve, and how that would involve everyone's assets and the overall gameplay experience. So yeah, maybe a campaign mode or quest coming from NPCs.
We want to do. We want to have NPCs. In fact, once we finish a new map area, which is going to be the market, there will be the first NPC that we have there. Um, as far as quests go, we'll basically have missions later on. That's why there are like these elemental trait stones. We still need to add a system to where you can actually basically consume those and then give traits to your creatures. And once those are out, we can actually add a system where like quests exist and tasks that are more randomized and to where it requires your creatures to have specific traits and so on to do. But as far as like a campaign mode, no plans for now. Speedy token will be the main project token. Liquidity will be added by users or go to release token pre-sales. There's no pre-sale of the token. We never minted like any for us. It's all gotten through frogs basically, and in the future it's going to be with the pass as well. But that the PDWO token is for now is going to be the what was, I guess, yeah, a privilege token. I've basically, my mind went blank for a second there. What else? Gameplay is important. How will it be possible spending some more time in the game? Now only claimants into work, next PvP, etc. We want to add PvE at some point. But as far as like now, the overworld idle gameplay is going to be there, but we just need to add more burns. We need to add buildings, new resources, some few new gameplay loops, and once that is there, once the whole foundation is there, we can start working on PvE while still improving and adding stuff onto overworld. But yeah, once the overworld is there, then we can start adding stuff for PvE. Renting system for new users, other sales products maybe. No, no renting system for now. If there's like outside third-party systems that want to do that, that's fine. But definitely, we can't spend time to add these features while we still work on the game. We're a very small team.
Let's see. We have to burn token game with crafts, Newmans. Okay, so did we talk about this burning the token in game with crafts before Newman's mega tadpole thing? Yeah, so the tadpole, the transcendent tadpole is going to be one of the big PD whitelist burns. Are you asking if other mints are going to be included in that as well to burn that mechanic? Well, can you answer that question? Would
Yeah,
PD whitelist token also be included in other burn events?
maybe some in the future, but as far as like early on, no. For the buildings and stuff, no. At least not at the start. It's gonna be, as I've said, basically a privilege token. You'll be able to like Rush tasks reduce exhaustion a few times a day if you have the lighthouse built and so on. It's a privilege token. And as far as like the burn, yeah, the tactful mint, the tactful mint is going to be a burn. Those PTW tokens will be used for liquidity, so they won't be burned. But I mean, technically, it's kind of the same as they just aren't in the player's hands anymore.
Burke asks what the plan for resources is to use the collected items for mints, like NFTs. So the resources within the game, will they be used for mints similar to how SFL does it?
Sure. Yeah, that's the plan. You should use these resources, and also, once there's new features, you have to use these resources in bundles to actually access other modes. So if you want to go to missions, you have to have resources prepared to take off, and so on. So not only to make new NFTs, but also like access other features. What were the initial expectations and goals set by the developers for the game? And do you think they weren't met? I would say sometimes we have taken too long with stuff because we're a really small team, and any like IRL speed bump really gets in our way because we're that small. So like if someone falls off for some time, we just can't. We don't have like a replacement for them, right? So yeah. But as far as like initial expectations, I didn't really have any. Um, we're just happy to build our own game at the pace that we're capable of building it in. Yeah. What is your plan marketing strategies?
I can answer that question. So later down the line, we hopefully plan on partnering um, with an agency. That's still up in the air, but um, hopefully, if things go according to plan, we will be partnering with a marketing agency to help us kind of spread the word. But in the interim, we are looking to and talking with various crypto influencers. But since we are a small team with a very incredibly small budget, a lot of what we do to get the word out is either by word of mouth or by just us networking with people and bringing people into the game. Because a lot of what marketing is done within NFT projects is a lot of upfront money spent, either through buying very large influencers to show a project, or having a platform display your project. A lot of that is due to money, large amounts of money changing hands. And because we are such a small project, a lot of what we do has to be grassroots. It has to be just word of mouth. It has to be us kind of talking to people, because we simply do not have the budget to spend a ton of money on marketing, and that's just really what we have to contend with until we do have a little bit of flexibility to do more of the normal kind of mainstays that would happen in a marketing campaign, which would be money spent in that marketing campaign.
Yeah, all true.
Jory, should I get some chests and elementals? Like, how important are they to the overall gameplay? And will these be implemented soon?
The elements are basically, as I've described before, they will be used to like add new traits to your creatures, and those traits would be used once missions are out, which is probably a few months from here. And the chests, we'll try to add the chest earlier, but chests are basically um the better the chest, the better the items inside. And they will so the more common chests will usually be like resources, maybe some PGWL tokens, and the better chests later on will actually give you new NFTs and the actual good stuff. So they will be important to the game, but they are not like crucial, and it's not like you need chests to play the game. But elements will be they will be needed. Yeah. You make frog tadpoles under token more important. We've answered that already. We have NFTs for boosts in the future. Yeah, some will do, but not every NFT was going to be like a boost. Some will unlock new features instead. Lighthouse, that's a lot of stick stones and fish. Oh yeah, yeah. Um, we're basing costs on like the average user resources gathered in the series in a certain period of time. So the lighthouse is likely going to be a few hundred of each resource to mint like the level 1 lighthouse, and then you'll be able to upgrade it up to 5 times. We have NFTs for decorations in the future. Yeah, we want to do that. Do you have a referral program in mind to attract new audiences, acquaintances to the project? We actually talked about this in a recent team meeting. We want to add a referral program, but before we have just some links, we want to add a system to where the new people can actually do stuff even though they maybe, let's say, don't have otters or seals.
Yes, very interesting question because we literally did just talk about it in our last meeting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Token spending and renting our creatures spend. What functionality for toads? I don't know. D.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they would do yet.
Yeah.
As we haven't even really like thought about adding them. We just have the assets there sitting. You know, ideally, if more people would join the game, then we just do like a Gen 2 fragment with them, and that just basically allows people to get more frogs and far more token, because as more people will join the game, inherently you just need more of the token, and you can only generate that by having frogs and tadpoles. So maybe if we would do this like toad mint, maybe any frog bot would have a healthy tadpole come alongside it. That would probably be a thing, but yeah, it's all dependent on if people actually want that.
Shrew Crudy asks, what do you consider a good season pass number?
And they tagged you in that, so you go ahead and answer.
As many as you want. I know that's probably not the best answer, but it's ultimately what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, so you should not rush to like sell your kidney if you want more passes. Is that what you're saying?
Like
They shouldn't?
with anything in cryptocurrency in this space, only spend what you are comfortable with and not mortgaging your house for it. Daily task prices? Daily task prices? I don't really understand the question, or I need a little bit more context to that question. Google Tekken. I'm just reading back through the rest of the chat. For every 3 minutes, you get a personal nude from Sakul. Spicy. Oh, so spicy. We can use Project Image to do YouTube videos and some viral stuff for promoting.
Yeah.
Is that a question for us, or are you asking if the community can do that? Because the community can absolutely use, Project Identity images and take screenshots and make whatever content you want to. It's really up to you. RB, my main question is, when next feature date. I don't think we, so I think that we're, I think that we're trying to stray away from giving hard dates because as Dee had mentioned earlier, uh, development times can change drastically. One small speed bump can elongate timeframes. And if we have a specific date that we plan to release something, we don't want to be beholden to that date because life happens, and our developers, are trying their hardest to get things done in a timely fashion, but there's always something that can come up and can delay features being released. So we're trying to stray away from having specific dates for releases.
Yep.
Midnom asks, do you plan on transitioning from water to land at some point?
We kind of already are.
Yeah.
Like the others, gather wood, they mine. Yeah.
How new people will find and test our Arcadian Reclaim, OpenSea, Twitter, Instagram, maybe 9% users from SFL? I mean, that's a pretty broad question. But again, a lot of what traditional marketing is paying for a seat at the table, essentially, unless it's viral marketing, which you can't exactly. You can try, but it's not a guarantee. When you put out content either on Twitter or Instagram or any social media platform, a lot of what grassroots marketing is just people posting constantly. So, and it takes a community to do that. A a project can tweet and try its best to throw out marketing into the ether, but it ultimately takes the community to do that, to rally around a project to build that grassroots movement outside of traditional marketing.
Also, to add onto that, I mean, honestly, we're in such a state right now, and it's pre-alpha, that I don't think like doing some mass campaign to add like a bunch of new players would actually do all that much. We need to add more stuff to the game, give you the ability to like build new stuff and have things in place already. So that once you bring out, for now, anyone that is here is basically completely OG and been here at the very, very start, at like the infancy stage. And if you want to attract new players, you want to be in a stage where things have improved more and you can do more in the game, so that the first impression is way different. Because for now, we are literally just building literally from the ground up. So even if we had like a mass amount of money, I wouldn't say it's like the best time to just like start some mass campaign yet.
Any collaborations with other projects on the roadmap? It's a work in progress. Again, when you're reaching out to other projects, it's a process of vetting them, understanding how their communities operate. At least that is the approach that I take when looking at other projects. Something specifically, I try to stay on Polygon because it might be a little rough to partner with the project on another chain, because usually that would probably require other people to be on that chain, and that's a big ask if people don't already have coins on that chain or already using that chain. And there's just again, there's so much, there's so many projects out there, kind of living and dying within a second, and it can be hard to gauge what would be beneficial for a small project like us and one that would actually work. It takes a lot more effort than you think. It's not just collab whitelists. We're trying to do something more cohesive and extensive than just providing a whitelist collaboration, which tends to be
Yeah.
normal attitude in NFTs. Um, so chess is a PD wireless minter. We can find chess in game. Can we find chess in game, Steve?
Yeah, you'll be able to do that. That will be possible in the game.
And when can we open them?
I cannot tell you an exact date yet. We need to add some other stuff at first, but we have the chests opening and the treasure hunting as one of the mechanics that we want to add first. As far as like actual features, it's one of the stuff that's more near than more that would come sooner rather than later, basically.
Okay, we have a question about can you explain a little bit about the 1K token, 500 token for the tadpole? I think you're referring to transcendent tadpoles, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so the 1000 PDWL Transcend Tadpole is gonna have like a different multiplier. It's gonna be like 5 PDWL per day that can still combine with your frog to multiply that by however strong your frog is. While the 500 PDWL Transcendent Tadpole, I think it has a multiplier of 2.2. I think, um, from the top of my head. So it's still incredibly strong, and it gives you a tadpole that is immortal, that can be traded without losing health. Um, but it's just not on the same scale and par as the better tadpole.
Any rarities between passes? Will passes have rarities, or will they just be one utility? And
It's just one same
got it.
supporter spec. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the toads. Look at that. Look at that. They're big boys.
Okay, so you were adding some clarification to the question about passes and how many to mint. Um, how many pass? How many passes is a good launch? um, I'll let you answer that one.
1 million.
1 million, yeah.
I
Let's
think if we
keep it
can
high.
if we can mint a 1 million passes, I'll be happy. But like, to answer you without joking, I don't know. I mean, I have no expectations. We just kind of roll and see how it goes. We have incentives for the passes, so I mean, naturally, by even minting a single pass, you also get an unrevealed otter for yourself. You also get into a raffle for like actually like rare drops, rare good stuff. So there's good incentive to mint multiple, but as far as like how many will get minted, what would be good.
And
The
ultimately,
more, the better.
the mint funds are going to pay the salaries of the team, like Dee had mentioned, and that
Yeah,
gives us runway to develop, continue to develop full time for the people that are working full time, um, and it allows us to release features quicker because if people are not able to get paid, then they have to find other means to support themselves, and that takes away from development time. So it's to pay the salaries of the people that are working on the game.
yeah,
And the
and
more
hey,
runway we have, the more mint funds we have, the more runway we have.
yeah, and in fact, if we have generally good funds, we might be able to bring more people up onto the project to actually hasten up what we release. Yeah.
Will the tadpole upgrade release with the season pass? Yeah,
Uh,
when transcend?
Tadpoles will come a little bit later, so you still have time to gather your tokens. It's gonna come after the pass.
Daily tasks to complete them and get rewards. I mean, that's kind of a. I'll let you handle that question, D, because that would be more in like future mechanics if you plan on adding a daily task feature, but I don't really know what that would entail.
That would probably entail having like a season pass. And you like logging in daily to keep up your streak of a pass or whatever. Something along those lines, but it's not something that we're working on yet. Um, yeah, it's something that could be added later on. It probably could and would, but just nothing in mind yet.
Can we have a healing house for creatures? Maybe creatures hotel for guests. Maybe. Maybe in
We
the future.
actually, I actually had an idea of having a sanctuary building for creatures. So yeah, we could do that.
Cute idea.
Yeah. Um, we just not sure on the exact mechanics, but I definitely want to have like a sanctuary building. Maybe you can like rescue new creatures, mint them, whatever. We'll see. We'll see.
The design of new creatures will be by the team, or do we have a community artist competition? Oh, that's a very interesting question.
We might have one for mythics. We'll see. As far as like the general art, we have our team working on the art, so that's all good. But we might do some competitions for like maybe mythics. We'll see.
If we have a new mint for frogs, how would the rarity mint work? Well, D.
Probably the same as the frogs from before. Gotta follow the tradition and make commons the mythics. That's for sure.
E. asks, are there any open spots for things like helpers, mods, artists, etc.?
If you wanna be not paid, sure. Because as we talked about the past mints, we are a small team with not a lot of money, so there's people that are working even now that basically do it out of the good of their hearts and by wanting to join the project. But yeah, we're always looking for people to join, but not as like hirees, basic, not as employees yet.
They
If
would
we have more
be
funding,
good-natured volunteers.
unpaid slaves, yes.
um, I think that we're going to rephrase that and not say slaves, but volunteers.
Involuntary interns, yes.
Uh, well, I mean, they wouldn't be involuntary seeing as they volunteered their time. Right, D?
No. I mean, once you join, you just give up your soul and you get demanded things. That's how it works. Yeah? No?
It's still voluntary, though. Still voluntary.
I guess.
um, you can put an option to change the creature's name and get some budget for the AR by this way. Change the creature's name?
That
Like
would
having.
probably. I mean, I don't see that as like a hard thing to add, but I'm not sure if that would be actually used all that often for us
Right.
to like make
Yeah.
sense to like work on a feature that does this. Um, yeah. Any particular motives for the mythic common of frogs or plants for changing their names? Oh man, the motives for the mythic common of frogs. So when we did frogs, we were very new to the space and we were literally learning Web3 contracts and so on. So what might have happened is that our calculations were incredibly messed up. Uh, yeah, to the point where the calculations were really off, and so we only had like two common frogs at the end of the day, and we just thought, you know what, we messed this up completely, but let's actually kind of reverse all this and just work with what we've done here and just kind of play the meme. Honestly, it's kind of funny. The common is the biggest rarity and the best thing. um yeah, I think it's just funny at the end of the day, and we've learned from from that. And I think, if the project is successful long term, I think, if anything, I think it's a good meme to play off of in the future.
Yes, this AMA will be on YouTube. All AMAs will be recorded and put onto YouTube for everyone's listening pleasure. Because I know that everyone is here to listen to the soothing sounds of Dee's
Oh
voice.
God, me cracking up in my Lithuanian accent.
Hi, YouTube.
Well, I guess we'll stay here for a few more minutes because an hour has been.
This
It's
might
been an
be a
hour.
good time for us to draw the winner.
Sure. What's your favorite question, Ali? I've been answering them, so I haven't been
So this
tracking
is
them in my
what we're gonna
mind.
do. There's a lot of really good questions, but what I have here, give me just 1 second. I have a spin wheel for those of you who submitted a question. Oh, actually, I think
Nice.
there's. Um, I don't think that I missed anyone. I believe I added everyone. Let's see. Cell power. Let's see. I think that was it. If I missed you, please let me know. I think I have everyone that asked a question. You didn't have something to present and decided to open the questions first. What was your proposal?
We did open with giving an update on the
Yes.
QOL stuff, the passments. Yeah, we did talk about that stuff. But after that, we just, went to questions. Yeah, it was an AMA to begin with. So,
Yep, it's an AMA. We're here to answer questions and provide a little bit of insight into some of the things that we're working on, which we did mention at the beginning of the AMA. Bowden, did you ask a question? Bowden, you're on the team. You can't win. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Two members
So,
cannot win.
how long will the passment last for? So it's going to last for 2 weeks, yeah. But the first week is going to be the raffle based thing. So if you mint within the first week, you participate in basically in a lottery to win things, and you get others for every mint pass that you do, which are revealed. So you can actually get a freaking mythic if you're lucky enough.